It's all gone. Everything is gone. The pool, the brewery, the bar. Amina's house is effed. This one is no better. Everyone's alive. That's what matters. Everyone's alive. Oh, God.
Just read this morning that Texas farmers are closing down because they can't find laborers to work their fields. Are you telling me white people won't work in the fields? Hey, all of you who thought they were taking your jobs, accepting applications now.
This is breaking news. Texas farmers are sounding the alarm on this tariff war. And in more breaking news, nobody cares. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's some of you too, but as far as farmers sounding the alarm, I don't care. I have to admit, I don't care at all, because the last time Donald Trump was president, 100,000 farmers across the country lost their farms. Yeah. So overwhelmingly, farmers voted for this man again, knowing full well of his history the last time he was president. So, from me to you, farmers, I don't care. I don't care how bad things get for you. I don't care if you lose your farm. I don't care if you... I don't care. At least I don't care to hear about it. I really don't. Because this is exactly what you voted for. And you're going to get what you voted for. You're going to get 4 more years of Donald Trump not giving a damn about farmers whatsoever. So, enjoy.
Texas, help this make sense. Okay, right now, gas is $4.19 a gallon in Texas, where I live. 6 months ago, that same gallon of gas was $2.65, for an increase of 55% over the past 180 days. Okay, I'm from Washington State, so I'm going to compare it to Washington. Right now in Washington, the average price for a gallon of gas is $5.75, okay? 6 months ago, the price of that gallon of gas was about $4.50, for a 35% increase over the past 180 days, okay? So for the average 15 gallons of gas, let's just say 15 gallons of gas is filling up your car for average. That 15 gallons of gas is going to cost somebody in Texas about $63. The same 15 gallons is going to cost someone in Washington State $86, okay? So why does Texas have a 55% increase over Washington's 35% increase in gas over the last 180 days? That's my first question. My second question, I want to address the minimum wage. Minimum wage in Texas is $7.25. $7.25. The minimum wage in Washington State, $17.13 approximately. You know what that difference is? That's a difference of $9.88 an hour more. $9.88 an hour more, or 2.3 times higher minimum wage in Washington State, okay? So for someone in Texas to buy that 15 gallons of gas, it's gonna cost them 9 hours of work approximately. They're gonna work 9 hours at that minimum wage for that gas, that tank of gas. In Washington, for that same 15 gallons of gas, they're gonna work 5.5 hours, okay? 9 hours, 5.5 hours approximately. The last minimum wage increase in Texas was in 2009. That is 17 years ago since there has been a state minimum wage increase, a cost of living increase, anything, 17 years. Meanwhile, in Washington State, in the last 17 years, they've had 17 minimum wage increases, meaning about one a year, the minimum wage goes up, and their next increase is scheduled for January of 2027. So why in the hell, why Texas, are you guys still living in wages from 2009? $7.25 an hour in the minimum wage, when prices are going up exponentially here more so than other places. Texas has the highest property taxes in the United States, one of the highest at least. And my car insurance for perfect driving is the most expensive I've ever paid. In fact, people with DUI insurance in Washington State pay less than I do for car insurance with a perfect driving record. So I need somebody to explain this to me. Why is gas going up so much more in Texas than other places? And why in the hell is nobody in Texas voting to increase this minimum wage, $7.25? I want to know who is living on that and what is going on, Texas. Please, somebody make this make sense to me.
All right, family, welcome back once again. Today we need to talk about something that many people are starting to notice, but not enough people are paying attention to. For months, we've been hearing people talk about inflation, tariffs, fuel prices, and the economy. But most conversations are happening in cities. Very few people are looking at what is happening deep inside rural America. And that's where things get interesting. Because when farmers begin speaking out, people should pay attention. Many farmers are now saying that costs are rising everywhere. Fuel costs are rising, equipment costs are rising, fertilizer prices are becoming harder to deal with, and profit margins are getting smaller. Now think about that for a second. Most people living in cities can change jobs if things become difficult. Somebody might work one job today and another job tomorrow. But for farmers, it doesn't work like that. Farming is not just a job. For many people, farming is a family history. Some farms have been passed down through generations. Fathers pass it to sons, sons pass it to their children, and that land becomes part of the family's identity. So when farming starts struggling, people aren't only worried about money, they're worried about losing a lifestyle. But here is where the debate starts. Some people online are saying, yeah, you voted for this, so deal with it. Others are saying, no matter who people voted for, if farmers suffer, everybody suffers. And honestly, I think there is something important in that argument, because food doesn't care about politics. Corn doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Cattle don't care who you voted for. When farms struggle, eventually the effects travel beyond the farms. It reaches grocery stores. It reaches workers. It reaches transportation. And sooner or later, it reaches ordinary families. People sometimes think agriculture only affects people, driving tractors in rural areas. No! Agriculture touches almost everything. And that's why what we're seeing today matters. Now, can every problem be blamed on one politician? No. Can every problem be blamed on one election? No. Economies are bigger than that. Global markets change. International conflicts happen. Supply chains move. Prices rise and fall. But what people are really reacting to is expectations versus reality. Because people vote hoping things will become easier. They vote expecting relief. And when life becomes harder instead of easier, frustration starts growing. Maybe this story isn't really about farmers at all. Maybe it's about something bigger. Maybe it's about understanding that promises sound good during campaigns. But after elections, reality takes over. And reality doesn't care about speeches. Reality shows up at the gas station. Reality shows up at the grocery store. Reality shows up in monthly bills. That's where people truly feel it. Drop your thoughts below because this conversation is only getting